dude, these MPCs just keep on coming, man. Akai have released no less than 5 new MPCs since October 2025, but unfortunately these are substantially more expensive than the older versions they replaced. And the one that's cheaper, the small and portable MPC sample, is honestly nowhere near as capable as the bigger models. And for around the same price as you'd pay for an MPC sample, you can get a second-hand original MPC One, and it's always been the best value MPC, but let's see if it still holds up today. And check out some beats I made on it, and I'll also discuss some pros and cons of the device. So this is the first iteration, the original black one, and the MPC One Plus is essentially the same thing but with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and a bold red color. And I bought this original black one 3 years ago secondhand, and it's been mostly gathering dust, but I thought, hey, let me give it another chance, just to, change up my workflow a bit and play around with something different. So the new MPC One Generation 2, the blue one, is actually the first proper upgrade that adds a more powerful CPU and more RAM. And I haven't used one, but from what I'm seeing, it can handle more plugins, it has better quality for the stem separation, more audio tracks, and whether that would be worth it for you, I think it really depends on your needs. But make no mistake, this black original MPC One is still a powerful Groovebox. While MPC Sample is basically just a sampler, very simple and straightforward, what we have here is a full workstation that you can use for sampling, but you can also just compose from scratch by plugging a keyboard and using the included instrument plugins, which can also be augmented with a large number of paid editions from Air, which is Akai's sister company that makes plugins, and also Native Instruments, which, is now also Akai's sister company. Interesting. But as much as Akai are trying to position the MPC platform as a DAW replacement, I'd say for arranging, editing and mixing, a proper desktop DAW offers a lot of advantages while benefiting from your computer's bigger screen. So I'd still use the MPC just for making sequences, but once I have the idea down, honestly I have no interest in using the arranger, which at first glance seems very DAW-like, but in fact is quite restrictive and honestly awkward to use, especially compared to a real desktop DAW. So if you use the MPC for making beats, I'd say this one works really well. I don't have any of Akai's paid plugins, but I do have the ones from Native Instruments, and honestly I had no issue using several of them alongside some of the built-in ones like the Hype Synth. And the machine was fairly responsive, loading times were decent, and that probably also depends on the SD card that you use, as unlike MPC Live, this one doesn't have the option to add an SSD. I mean, SSDs are super expensive these days anyway, so yeah. But I never felt limited in what I can do with the MPC One, even though it has a cap on how many instrument and effect plugins you can load and how many audio tracks you can have for recording instruments. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, I would really appreciate it if you help me out by hitting that like button and might as well subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Now, I like the MPC 3 operating system, and I made a video last year where I showed my appreciation for the fact that they've done away with the old MPC paradigm and made each program or plugin tied to the track that you load it to, like basically on any regular DAW. It just makes more sense to me. But this update has been divisive, and people who are used to the old paradigm, they weren't too happy, so I guess you can't please everyone. You have to appreciate that even if you have this older, cheaper MPC or even the OG MPC Live that came out way back in 2017, you can still use the latest operating system and get most of the new features, and the OS works just fine. I mean, okay, the newer ones will probably feel snappier, but I wouldn't say this one is laggy. Like I already mentioned, it's decent. Now, like I introduced clip launching on the MPC Live 3, which is a workflow that I definitely prefer to the regular old school workflow, because it would allow to have patterns of different length for each track. And also, I believe, patterns that grow automatically as you record. So this means that you're not restricted to the length of the sequence if you want to improvise. And this is the workflow that I'm used to from Ableton Live and Push, and unfortunately, to get it on the MPC, you have to buy the Pro Pack, which adds a bunch of other features and plugins as well. And this has caused some discontent in the MPC community, and from what I've read, most people feel like it should have been a free addition to these older MPCs. Now, to be honest, as much as I wish I had the Pro Pack, I can understand that developing these features costs money, and Akai would want to recoup some of the costs, and considering that not everyone would even need the new features, I'm not super mad that they are a paid upgrade. However, at $200, I find it a bit too expensive, to be honest. Having said that, the fact that the new MPC One and MPC Key 37 Generation 2 are more expensive than the old models but don't come with the Pro Pack included is a bit disappointing. So as far as cons go for the MPC One, the actual workflow and touchscreen interface, I feel like it kind of takes away from the feeling of using an actual instrument, and it feels a bit like a mobile app, although the dedicated buttons do help a lot, so I wouldn't say it is exactly the same as using an iPad. But the touchscreen allows Akai to add endless features and make it a bit too complicated with a steep learning curve. Still, once you get past the learning curve and get the hang of it and figure out where everything you need is, the workflow can be pretty quick. And I say can be because it's kind of up to you to come up with your own workflow, as there are multiple ways to do certain things, access certain features, screens and menus and so on. So this flexibility can be a double-edged sword, and while MPC One is not as quick or intuitive as MPC Sample, you get much more freedom to sculpt your sound and create much more complex and complete compositions. So overall, MPC One is more suitable for my requirements than MPC Sample, as I'm definitely not strictly a sample-based producer. but this is actually the fourth time that I've attempted to use it. First one was in 2021, and I actually made a decent number of beats back then when I had borrowed one. Then in 2023 when I bought this one, and then I tried it again in 2022 to take out the MPC 3 software update, and man, honestly, I'm only now kind of getting to grips with it and starting to work quickly without thinking what is where and what should I press to do this and that and so on. I mean, it's a lot. It can be overwhelming, and as someone who is mainly in the Ableton ecosystem, it couldn't quite pull me in to make me switch. The built-in sounds and effects are nice though, and unlike MPC Sample, it does everything I need. However, Push and Move's integration with Ableton Live, where I can continue working on the project and it sounds exactly the same after I load it in the DAW, is unmatched. With MPC, for example, when I exported these tracks, they didn't have the sidechain effect. So no matter if I did an Ableton Live export or a regular audio track export, even recording them one by one couldn't accomplish that, because the moment I mute my drums, the sidechain is gone. And I know what some people are gonna suggest, but no, I am absolutely not going to use the MPC software on the desktop. As an Ableton Live user, that would be a downgrade that I'm not willing to do. But otherwise, making beats on MPC One is actually pretty cool, and these older units offer incredible value for people who are looking for a standalone workstation, are also willing to shop secondhand, and are also willing to spend enough time to get through the steep learning curve. Which brings us to the end of the video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are new here, and thank you so much for watching everyone, and I will catch you later.